Welcome back to another episode of Viewer's Choice. We looked back at our Amazon affiliate data to see what you, yes you, Thomas Bullock, actually bought since New Year's Eve, and had a look at what kind of PC that you could build out of the most popular parts. And this time was really interesting. Not only because of Intel's Coffee Lake launch, that's 6-core CPUs for the masses, a mere 7 years after AMD did it, but also because RAM prices have been so stupid and cryptocurrency broke the GPU market. Like, man, I cannot believe how much some of you had to pay for a graphics card. It's like actually depressing.
Cheer up, Linus.
Why?
You got a sponsor.
Oh, right, because today's video is brought to you by, I'm not sure yet. Let's go with PIA. Private Internet Access is the VPN that gives you a secure IP and hides your online activity. You can check it out now at the link in the video description. So as much as people moaned and groaned when Coffee Lake was announced, I mean, it had been less than a year since Kaby Lake, and it had its own new chipset that was a requirement. It looks like a lot of you were ready for an upgrade because the Core i7-8700K was far and away the most popular chip this quarter. But given its big performance bump over previous products, that's not nearly as surprising as the way that the most popular chips previously, the i7-7700K and i5-7600K, have been knocked way back by a Red Sea of Ryzen processors occupying half of the top spots. Overall, AMD has actually managed to completely catch up to Intel in CPU market share, at least as far as our viewers and what they buy on Amazon is concerned. So, wow, great job, AMD. On to motherboards, silver medal went to a Z370 board with support for all of those 8th gen Intel chips that you guys are buying. But when you look at the price you pay to go Intel, an average of $200 for that board, I guess it makes sense that the top selling motherboard was actually for AMD's Socket AM4, the Asus ROG Strix B350F Gaming, with a similar but more expensive variant, this guy coming in 3rd place, also from Asus. Fun fact, the first non-Asus board doesn't appear until 6th place. In cooler land, we've got the combo breaker! The forever champ of coolers, Cooler Master's Hyper 212 Evo. The cooler that tripled the sales of the runner-up in our last episode has been beaten by none other, than the Corsair H100i V2 all-in-one liquid cooler. Could it be the RGB logo on the pump? Yeah, that's probably it. On to RAM. Sadly, our audience hasn't been spared the jacked up prices. Corsair's 2x8GB 3000 MHz Vengeance kit was the best selling this time and last June. And if you guys are looking at this going, well, there's a RAM shortage because you guys have got all of it. Well, we've had all of this stuff for a long time, since it was way cheaper. This kit was an average of $75 less last June. Corsair somehow managed to get us 128 gigs of their Vengeance RGB. It's entirely possible that we are single-handedly causing the continuation of the global DRAM shortage, so sorry about that. Which I guess is a good segue into GPU prices, which have also been inflated due to demand from cryptocurrency miners. While we're used to seeing NVIDIA GTX 1070 and 1080 cards on the podium, this time around people mostly bought 1060s, and specifically from EVGA. But were the people buying them gamers? Well, the absence of an uptick in 1060 usage in the Steam hardware survey over the same period would seem to indicate that no, they were not. So does that mean that all of those cards were bought by miners? Not necessarily, but consider that all but 2 of them were bought on the same day in January, and that one person bought 4, and that the 1060 doesn't support 4-way SLI. And all right then. So then, did any gamers buy a new GPU in 2018? Well, looks like they tried. The 3rd most popular card was actually a GTX 1070 inside a Gigabyte Aorus gaming box eGPU for about $600. So those folks had to pay for and presumably discard a Thunderbolt enclosure that they probably didn't want. But hey, I mean, other people were paying anywhere from $500 to $900 for just the card. So, yeah. BT dubs, if you're wondering if AMD's Vega made a big splash, oops, there it is. Well, only 7 of them actually sold this quarter, at least in our Amazon data, so probably that's due to short supply. Now let's take a look at monitors. It appears that you guys either wanted to spend around $500 for a high refresh rate gaming monitor like a, really? An ultra wide one? So it looks like it's the 144 Hz LG 34UC79G-B, which I guess kind of makes sense since it merges 2 of the features that you guys have indicated are the most important to you in a display. So anyway, you either spent a lot on a gaming monitor, or you think a monitor is a monitor is a monitor, and you bought a 21.5-inch HP Pavilion, the best-selling monitor on Amazon, for a mere 85 bucks. That actually looks like a good deal. Maybe we should take a closer look at this thing. Let us know in the comments below. Anyway, speaking of cheap stuff, that seems to be your preference when it comes to peripherals too. Keyboards and mice from Red Dragon have been absolutely smashing the competition ever since we did those budget roundups, and now the same thing is happening to headsets. Everyone was buying the HyperX 2s forever and ever until we did our cheap headphone roundup, and now they are in 15th place with a mere 7% of the sales volume of the Be Excellent GM1s. Now, in case you were wondering, the top selling chassis, no, come on, come back, I'm sorry, I know, I've used that joke before. Just kidding, I'm not sorry, I'm gonna do it again. Anyway, the top seller was the Fantex Eclipse P400S, and I mean, why not? It's got a touch of RGB, a splash of tempered glass, and it comes in a bunch of different colors at a fair price. What's not to like? The most popular fan was the Noctua NF F12, which half of you opted to get in black, completely reasonable, and the other half went for this, which I guess is also sort of reasonable. And then an honorable mention goes to the Corsair Light Loop 120s that just came out last year. They took the bronze medal with their super modern, not to mention incredibly expensive, dual RGB look. Over in storage land, there was an upset. NVMe M.2 SSDs won for the first time ever, with 250 and 500 gig Samsung 960 EVOs topping the list, even though they still cost 50% more than Samsung's 2.5-inch runners-up. I'm attributing the win to the price difference now being small enough to make the speed gains and space savings appealing to mainstream people, with notebook upgrades also seeming like a likely driver of this category. For spinning disks, the WD 1TB Blue is still on top, but interestingly, sales of 8TB drives tripled compared to last time. And while I might have initially assumed that this was to do with people using Optane memory, which is a good value way to accelerate an internal hard drive, It seems like this blip has more to do with one particular model going on sale because upon closer inspection, it's an external drive anyway. Finally, who could forget the power supply? Here we've got another first, EVGA's Supernova 650 G3 80 Plus Gold. Fully modular PSU took the chicken dinner. So gold efficiency is finally going mainstream. So then, can we actually make a compatible PC out of the winning parts? This time, the answer is no, thanks to that pesky AM4 motherboard, or Intel CPU, depending on how you look at it. But if it were compatible, the system would actually be almost exactly the same price as last time, and considerably faster in some tasks, thanks to the extra couple of processing cores. Though it should be noted that it would be quite a bit slower in games because of the massive video card downgrade. So hopefully by the next time we do one of these, the market conditions will have improved somewhat. The Massdrop 67-key Mito, thank you. The Massdrop 67-key Mito Laser Alt Mechanical Keyboard features a mechanical frame, a cool retro look, GMK laser keycaps, and you can choose a case color, Laser Dusk or Laser Dawn. You can swap switches with no soldering required. The keys are fully programmable via QMK firmware. It's got dual USB-C connectors and custom RGB backlighting and underlighting. Check it out and learn more at the Massdrop link below. So thanks for watching, guys. If this video sucked, you know what to do, but if it was awesome, get subscribed, hit that like button, or check out the link to where to buy the stuff we featured in the video description. Also down there is our merch store, which has cool shirts like this one, without holes. And our community forum, which you should totally join.